What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I have a chit chat get ready with me, which I haven't done in a long time. And I'm just really pumped to sit down, do my makeup, talk with you guys. But I did also ask you guys to ask me if you need any advice on anything. So kind of like an Amy's advice. I used to do them all the time and I seriously miss them. So there are a lot of good questions that you guys sent in that you really want my advice on. So I'm excited to kind of get into it. Also, really quickly, I do want to mention, I bought new lights, new background lights this weekend from Amazon, and I actually really love them. I have two of them, but one of them keeps turning off and on, and I have no idea why. It's the one that's over here on this side. So you guys are probably going to see it throughout the video, like turn off and then come back on. There you go, just turned off. Lovely, amazing. I have no idea why. I've been trying to figure out for like the past 15 minutes, and I'm just going to give up, you know? Just going to continue on with the video. It'll come back on when it decides to. Actually, you know what? Hello, welcome back. Anyways, we're gonna ignore that. So, moving on. Yeah, so I have just a ton of really good questions. I'm excited to get into it because I feel like I haven't done an Amy's advice in a long time. What am I looking for? An Amy's advice in a really long time, and I love doing those types of videos. Like, I love them. They're just fun to like sit down, chit chat with you guys, and give you guys some advice on what's going on with your life. Ever since I was younger, I'm gonna use the Huda Beauty Primer. If I don't mention any of the makeup products that I'm using, I will link it down below. I have a Virgo rising, by the way, and I'm a Cancer sun and then Cancer moon. So double Cancer and then a Virgo rising, and I feel like my Virgo rising really loves to give people advice and like analyze things, and then my Cancer just loves to listen. I'm a really good listener. Like if you just need someone to like talk to, I'm a really good listener. I've actually been told that a lot. I kind of like to listen to it, prefer to listen to other people's problems rather than talk about my own. I'm that friend where like you'll like pour your heart out to and tell them everything about your life, and then when it comes to for me to tell you anything about my life, I'm just like, I ain't got shit to say. Like that's just me. Anyways, yeah, I'm a really good listener, so I feel like my Cancer and Virgo really comes out during these Amy's advice videos. I'm gonna use the Anastasia because confession, I have not used it really since I filmed that video. What shade should I use today? My tan is like really faded, so I'm gonna go for 270. I'm on like an 8th day tan right now, so it's a little bit just not the best. I had to put on like some tanning cream yesterday to kind of like revive it. I was just too lazy to do a full tan. But yeah, I have not used this since the last time that I did a first impression. I feel really bad, but like I actually really like the foundation. But I kind of find that I get in like this rut, and you guys know this. I mean, this is my Cancer side again, where like I get comfortable with the makeup products that I use, and like I just tend to stick with those. And then let's turn the light back on. Let's welcome her back to the party. Hello, thank you. First thing is advice on how to buy furniture for your home, what to invest in, where to shop, apps, inspo. Pinterest is my go-to spot, you guys. I feel like it's important first to figure out what kind of style you fall into. So I know that I tend to fall into a transitional. I know a lot of people, when I say that, they try to correct me and they say, you mean traditional? No, traditional and transitional are two different things. Transitional is actually a mixture of traditional and modern, which is totally my style. Everyone that comes to my house, or even all of you guys, are like, it's very like modern but traditional at the same time. Like that's kind of my style. I feel like that's just me in general. Like I have so many traditional qualities but then modern at the same time. Anyways, it's good to figure out what your style is, and then you can type in on Pinterest like transitional home or transitional decor. I do really use the House app as well, but I use that more for advice. Like I have a profile on there and I literally go on the forum and I'll ask people for advice, because there are like house lovers on there that really will give you advice on like what size dining table should I get, like what size chandelier, or like should I, when I was renovating the house, for example, I would be like, should I take this wall down? Should I do this? Should I do that? Or whatever. So I love that app as well. It's called House, but with the ZZ instead of SE. I feel like the best thing to do is take your time, but really everyone's different. Like I see people who literally buy a house and they decorate the whole thing in like a month or two because they just want to get it done. But, and I think that that's great, but for me, it doesn't work. I think it depends what your personality is. For me, I am so picky that if I do that, I will waste so much money, because a month later, I'll be like, I don't like that anymore. And then where does that go? You can't return it because it's past the date. So you end up donating it, which is great. I love donating things, but there's like, if you buy like $1,000 dresser, there's $1,000 just down the drain. So for me, that does not work. Been there, done that, learned my lesson when I moved into the house that I rented. like 4 years ago. So been there, done that. That's just not my thing anymore. I take my time now. Like I am not even nearly done anything. Even this room, like I still want to get a nice bench for like, I am not nearly done. I am not in a rush. This isn't my forever home, but it's definitely like my, I want to say like mini forever home. Like I'm going to be here for a long time. I'm not in a rush. I'm pretty picky, so I like to take my time. And when I fall in love with something, then I buy it. So the next one is, how do you become more confident in yourself and with the way you look? I feel like I'm like perfect person to answer this question because I've opened up to you guys before and I've told you guys, which a lot of you were really shocked, but I have told you that I used to be, and I still kind of am, like I'm still not 100% perfect. I never will be, but I like have always had a real big insecurity and just body image issue in general, and I've always struggled with confidence because growing up I did get made fun of a lot because I was always the chubby kid, and I feel like that really fucked with me. I've really worked hard on my confidence, and I can say, especially since the new year, I've started this new rule where I only talk positive to myself. I feel like I was actually watching Dr. Phil, and he said something like something about how like your thoughts run a mile per minute or whatever. Like you have literally thousands of thoughts running through your head all the time. And if those thoughts are negative, just imagine the damage that is doing to yourself and your life. So I started not talking bad to myself at all anymore. Like if you look in the mirror, tell yourself you're beautiful. Enough with the, oh, what's this, what that? Why do I look like this? Why do I look like that? Or whatever. Enough. Like you have to look at yourself and say positive things. So that's like this new rule that I've started. I only say positive things to myself, and like I'm not even joking to you guys, within like 2-3 days I noticed such a difference. Like within 2-3 days of just saying positive things and repeating positive things to myself about myself, I started noticing that subconsciously I felt that way about myself. Like at first I was forcing it. The first and the second and the third day I was like forcing it, like, okay, tell yourself this, tell yourself that, whatever. After that, like now I find myself just naturally feeling that way about myself because I have programmed my mind. But that just goes to show you, imagine all the negative talk that you do. You program your mind to subconsciously feel that way. So yeah, that's like a big thing. I know this is really corny, okay? You guys know I do not like to get all corny, but one thing that I keep repeating to myself that's actually really helped is you're beautiful, you're strong, and you're healthy. So telling yourself you're beautiful, that's gonna really help with your self-image. You're gonna feel confident in how you look. Telling yourself you're strong, that's telling yourself that you can do anything. You can lift as many weights as you want in the gym. You can go to the gym every day and just be a strong person physically. You can also be a strong person mentally. And then telling yourself you're healthy, this was really big for me because a lot of the times I would repeat to myself like, oh my God, I'm such a foodie, which I am a foodie, but I feel like to constantly repeat that to yourself, you put yourself in that place where you program your mind to feel like you have no self-control with food. Like that was a really big thing for me. I started just telling myself I had no control with food, or food was my weakness, and oh my God, I'm a foodie. And when you keep telling yourself that, yeah, hell, you're gonna act on it. So now I kind of repeat to myself, you're healthy, you're strong, you're beautiful. So automatically now I make better food decisions. I grab better things to eat because in my mind, I believe in my heart and my soul that I am a healthy person. And what does a healthy person do? They make healthier food choices. So I feel like repeating these positive things to yourself really helps. So this one says, I have small arguments with my boyfriend all the time. Just want some advice. I feel like all of us have been there, done that. Or even like, you have like moments and times where there's constant bickering or whatever. I feel like a lot of the times there are underlying issues. So if you find that you're constantly like bickering, then a lot of the times there's other things underlining that you're angry about that you guys haven't spoken about, and then that causes you to act out, you know what I mean? One thing that I really find helps is checking in on each other, like having a weekly talk once a week. Like pick a day, be like, you know what, every Friday night or every Sunday morning, whatever, we're going to talk and review how the week went. Is there anything that you bothered you this week that I did? Is there anything you loved? Like, don't just talk about the negative. Revisit the week and talk to each other about the things that you loved and didn't love that each other did. And doing that helps to keep communication going because our lives can be so busy that sometimes we are angry at things or we love things. Like sometimes your boyfriend does something and you're like, you know what, I really love that they did that, but you forget to tell them, you forget to communicate. And it's just as important to talk about, sorry, I'm checking out the viewfinder. It's just as important to talk about the good things as it is about the bad too. So I think it's great to have like, I call them like weekly talks, just to kind of revisit everything, and that helps communication to be flowing, and you'll find that you have a lot less resentment. And also, by the time you get to the weekly talk, you're not as angry. Like, you know, sometimes something really pisses you off, but you're too hot-headed to talk about it. Write it down on your phone and wait until your weekly talk day, and you'll find that you guys talk about it way better because you're not so hot-headed and angry. Like, no one is gonna solve an issue or a problem when they're hot-headed, you know? Every time I do these videos, my throat hurts so much because I'm just like talking. Like, can I get like some throat lubricant or some shit? Okay, so the next one is, I'm in college and everyone loves to go out and party, but I don't, and I feel like an outsider. Honestly, I can like really relate to this. That was totally me not me in college, that was me in high school. Like, I feel like everyone wanted to go to parties, wanted to go to the movies, wanted to hang out, and like, you guys know me, I'm a homebody. I always literally have been this way. Like, I've always been this way. My mom's actually a Sagittarius and she's very outgoing. So my whole childhood, my mom, like, bless her, she meant well, but like, my mom always tried to push me to like be outgoing and like go out and do this and do that, and I never wanted to. And I think she finally just started to accept it after a while, but I didn't even accept it at that point. Like, I used to feel like I didn't fit in, so I became very insecure too. That's another thing that made me feel insecure, because I didn't feel normal. I feel like the normal teenager goes out with their friends, parties all the time, or even just goes to the movies, goes to the mall all the time, and that wasn't me. Honestly, you have to get to the point where you're just like, fuck it. If that's who I am, then that's who I am, and you're not gonna make people make you feel bad. Like, who says what normal is? You know what I mean? Like, who says that going out and partying during college is the right thing and you being a homebody is the wrong thing? Like, there's no right or wrong. Just be you, do you, and be fucking happy. Like, seriously, I gave up a long time ago trying to fit in. So this one's really long, but it's really good, so hang in here. I've been best friends for over 10 years. We've been best friends for over 10 years. A few years ago, she got into a relationship. They were together for a year. They were off and on. The guy seemed like he didn't know what he wanted, and she still wants to be with him. It's been almost 2 years that they've been off, and they always hang out and do couple shit together. He's told her to her face that he doesn't want to marry her and doesn't see a future with her, and she's still there for him. When her and I hang out, she's always crying, bitching about him, and says she loves him and knows he's the one. Mind you, I've been listening to this for almost 2 years. Man, this can be hard. As a friend, when you're seeing your friend like just not do the right thing, it can be like, it can be mentally draining for you, which can be just bad. A week ago, I told her I was done listening to this. She got pissed off and told me I was being a bitch and judgmental because I already thought of him as a bad guy. I tried to explain to my friend why I thought that, but she wouldn't hear it. She's been wanting to hang out more lately, but it's awkward now because she's always on her phone and seems like she wants to cry. I know she wants to vent, but honestly, I can't hear it anymore. Do you think I'm being a bad friend? What should I do? I feel like her situation with her ex is toxic and it's ruining our friendship. I've told her as well, but I don't know where her headspace is at. She doesn't see what she's doing is ruining us, and every time she wants to hang out and I can't, she automatically thinks she did something or I'm avoiding her. Like, I literally have to explain why I can't, and when I ask her to hang out, I don't get upset. I'm like, okay, next time, no biggie. I don't know what to do anymore. First of all, it's really obvious, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but it's really obvious that your friend has major self-esteem issues, and that's something that only she can work on for herself. Like, you cannot change that. I have been there, I have done that. Let me tell you what I've learned, because I'm telling you, I have been in situations before. I've been in about 2 big situations in my life where the person that's really close to me, I'm just looking at them and I'm like, you're not thinking with your head. You're being insecure, you have low self-esteem, you're not thinking with your head, you're not doing the right thing here. I'm tired of listening to you complain, but you're not changing your life. Like, I've been there and done that. First of all, you're not a bad friend for feeling that way. We gotta allow people to feel how they want to feel and stop expecting people to be perfect. Don't expect yourself to be perfect. It is completely reasonable that you are just irritated at this point because you've been listening to this for 2 years straight. But at the end of the day, if you love her and you're her friend, I'll tell you what you gotta do here. The only thing you can do at this point, and I know it sucks, is just be there for her. Believe me, it sucks. Like I said, I have a Virgo rising, so I'm naturally a little bit of a fixer. If I see a problem, I want to fix it. I'll tell you how to fix it. I'll give you direct steps on how to fix it, but not everybody wants to know how to fix things. Sometimes people don't want to be fixed and they don't want your opinions. They just want your ear and they just want you to be there to listen. And I know it sucks because I'm like a natural fixer, so I always hate that. But sometimes that's just how it is, especially when someone means a lot to you and you just want to be there for them. That's just what you got to do. So I am going to put the Benefit Coralista blush on because it's like really soft and pretty peachy shade. Like, look at how pretty that is. Like literally one of my favorites. Okay, so the next question is cheat days. Do you have them or do you prefer cheat meals? How do you not pig out? So this is something I've actually really changed in the new year. Previously, I used to do cheat days and I felt like it was actually bad for me mentally because it would reinforce bad behaviors. So it's like, it's kind of giving yourself, okay, so basically you spend all this time trying to be healthier and make better, healthier choices and just get, at least for me, it's like I was trying not to binge eat and trying not to have more control with food and be healthier. But then you pick one day where you're allowed to binge the whole day and cheat. It's completely, it doesn't make any sense. I know this is completely different, but just hear me out. It's like if you have an addict and they spend all this time trying to, you know, get better and not be addicted anymore. And then they have one day where they're just allowed to binge out. And it's just like, okay. And then the next day they're supposed to go back and everything's okay again. It's really messed up in my head. I'm just like, why is that a thing? So now what I do is I just do a more balanced approach. If I'm in a situation where I'm out and someone's like, hey, I really feel like grabbing McDonald's. Do you want some? I'll be like, okay, cool. Yeah, I'll have some if I'm craving it. If I'm not, then I won't. But if I really want it, I'm like, yeah, cool. And then that'll be considered a cheat meal, but it's much more natural and it's much more balanced because that'll be my cheat meal. And then for the rest of the day, I still eat healthy. So I feel like that approach is much more balanced. The idea of having an entire day to cheat is it defeats the whole point. It reinforces bad behavior. I have completely stopped doing it. I just realized it's really not healthy. I am gonna use this. I've actually been literally obsessed with it. The ColourPop Super Shock Highlighter. This is like the first time I've even tried these Super Shock highlighters, but this shade is so nice. This is the shade The Real Thing. So pretty. Yeah, so having an entire day dedicated to cheating is just completely reinforces bad behavior. It completely reinforces unhealthy habits and like you're just expected the next day to go back to eating like healthier foods, which can feel like restrictive. Like, I don't know, it just doesn't feel good. So what I do now is I'll have cheat meals. So like I'll eat healthy for the whole day. And then if I feel like just grabbing dinner, like ordering out or ordering dinner in, then I'll do that. And that's considered a cheat meal, but it's much more balanced that way. Yeah, because having a cheat day kind of makes the rest of your journey feel like prison. Like, okay, so for 15 days you have to eat healthy and then that one day you get to pig out and cheat. It makes the other 15 days subconsciously in your mind, you're telling yourself that the other 15 days are complete prison and complete hell. And then that one day you're free. Then you have to go back to prison and hell again. And it's just like, it sends a bad message to yourself subconsciously. So instead, you need to just adapt to a healthy lifestyle overall. Tell yourself positive things. Tell yourself you're healthy, you're strong, you got this. Be healthy overall. And then once in a while, throw in a cheat meal here and there, whenever you feel like it. I feel like that is so much more balanced, and I don't know why I never realized that. I don't know why I never realized that having entire cheat days is completely bullshit. It's so freaking bad for your mental health and for the whole journey. Like, you're trying to do better and then you're reinforcing these horrible behaviors. I feel like especially if you have issues with binge eating, it's just bad. Just don't. And I don't even call them cheat meals. I just call them unhealthy meals. Like, oh, you know what? This is an unhealthy meal. Whatever. I don't even call them cheat. So I thought that this was a good one because it's super relatable for me, at least. Someone said, basically, I am a lot like you when you say you're a homebody and don't care to leave the house much. But for me, I almost have panic attacks leaving the house sometimes. I'm just an introvert and I really do want to be in love. I know you don't share a ton about that aspect of your life, but if you could share some of how you started out off in your relationship, like opening up enough to let someone get close to you in that way. I feel like I'm such a guarded person that I may be alone forever. I'm not sure how to get comfortable with someone. I'm 28 and can't even say I've ever had an official relationship because I kind of ruin it before it gets too deep. I always tell myself that I wish I could fast forward to being married with a kid, because getting past this being shy and introverted stage is impossible, it seems. I know you are private, but I would take any advice you feel comfortable to offer on this situation. Super relatable for me, because I used to worry, and I know this is crazy, but you guys know me, like I'm kind of like, I'm more mature, I'm above my age, so I would be like 16, 17 worrying like, how am I ever gonna meet someone, because I'm such a shy person. So I would worry about that. Again, I know it's crazy as a 16-year-old to worry, how am I gonna meet my husband in the future, but I literally would worry about those things. I ended up meeting my boyfriend on social media, so I feel like that kind of was perfect for me, because I was always on social media all the time and I still am, but I was always on social media as a teenager. I've always loved social media, and I feel like that was the best way for me, because I could, like, for a shy person, I feel like online dating or social media dating is the best, even though I know catfishing is a thing, so you definitely want to look out for signs. Make sure you at that time we didn't have FaceTime. It was Skype, but make sure you FaceTime with the person so you don't get catfished or whatever. But yeah, I feel like that would be my advice, is to meet people through social media and online dating. And honestly, at the end of the day, you cannot worry yourself about it, because I do believe in, like, the more you worry about something, the more it feels like you're forcing it, the more it actually runs away. Like, I know what's meant to be will happen regardless, but sometimes I really believe in, like, energy. And if your energy is, like, so worried and like putting so much pressure on something, I feel like it actually pushes that opportunity away. So instead, try to come to peace with who you are as a person, and just be like, this is me, and like speak positive to yourself. Be like, this is me, I love who I am, I will work every single day to be less anxious, but I am naturally a shy person, accept who I am, and one day I will find somebody who loves me for who I am. Like, say those positive things to yourself, and I feel like by having more of that approach, you will naturally call that to in your life. Like, I truly believe that. But yeah, I do really think that online dating is the best for introverts, or just people who kind of can be more shy or just don't go out much. So I feel like this video is already so long, but oh well. So while I'm doing my brows, honestly, it's really hard for me to like focus and talk at the same time. So I'm just gonna talk about this new show on Netflix that I've been obsessed with. I've been watching the new show Lock and Key, and honestly, you guys, it's really good. I don't know why it's so hard for me to like commit to watching a new show, because I'm always just like, is it gonna be good? Is it gonna be a waste of time? But I am so glad that I started watching this, because it is so good. If you are a fan of Riverdale or Stranger Things or Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, like those type of shows, even though this is not a vampire show, but even like Vampire Diaries, or like just that style like show, which I never thought I was a fan of, but apparently I am, because I actually don't like fantasy type of movies, but like apparently I like some fantasy shows, not everything. But yeah, I'm gonna use my Amrezy mirror, because I'm gonna use the Amrezy palette today. But yeah, so yeah, it's so good. Like, if you like those style shows, you are going to love Lock and Key. It's basically a show about a house that has keys, and they're like magical keys. It's so good. Can we just talk really quickly about this gorgeous Makeup Geek palette? So they actually did a rebrand, and they sent me all of their mattes, or not all matte, but well, this one's all matte. Anyways, they sent me all of their single shadows, and they put together this neutral palette. Like, how gorgeous. So it's kind of like you have all of your light shades, you have all of your cool tones, your neutrals, then you have your like peachy warm tones, then you have your other warm tones that are more like caramelly and tan, you have your mauves, your purplies, like, oh my god. Just absolutely gorgeous. So I think I'm gonna play with this as well as the Anastasia palette. I'm probably not gonna, you guys know me, I like to do really natural soft eyes, so I'm probably not gonna do anything too crazy, especially because I really cannot focus while I'm like talking. But I think I really want to play with this really pretty sparkly pink. Like, I don't know, it's just really calling me. So let's see what we got going on here. So the first thing I'm gonna do is dig into this shade right here. So this one I thought was actually really good. So this is something that I've actually overcome as well. So someone said how to feel confident when taking photos, because I keep deleting any photo of me. So in a sense I can relate a little bit. So I kind of was like that too, where like anytime like I had to take photos, I would be so like worried or insecure. Like not even like photos for Instagram or whatever, like family photos even. I would be like, oh my god, like am I gonna look good? Like how am I gonna look? Blah blah blah. Like you just get so like worried or whatever. And I kind of stopped doing that because I just said to myself, you know what? That photo is you though. Like you are in that photo and you have to love yourself for who you are. So however that picture comes out, you're gonna have to love it because that is you standing there. Like, and I know that kind of sounds weird, but that's just how I started to look at it. I used to look at it like, oh my god, like what if I don't look good? Like, is this the right angle? Blah, 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 which I still do. Like, I definitely wanna, you know, you wanna pose good for photos and do your right angles and everything. But I just feel like it started to get to the point where like sometimes I'd be like, oh, I don't look good. And honestly, I noticed ever since I just have more positive self-talk, I don't think like that anymore. I see a photo of myself now and I'm just like, aw, cute photo, like of the whole, you know what I mean? Like I said, it would get to the point where even like a family photo I'd be so insecure about. But it's like, you're focusing on the wrong thing. You're focusing on how you look in the photo. Just focus on how it's a nice family photo. Like, you know what I mean? But I can definitely relate, honestly. I don't even know what I'm doing, to be quite honest with you guys. I'm just winging the shit out of this and I'm hoping it turns out good. So I'm actually going to mix Gorgina and Dragon. Yeah, so these two shades. Let's look for another question. Someone said, I've been losing weight consistently and for a few weeks the scale hasn't budged. So basically you're just in a plateau. One thing that I feel like really helps me when I do that is to I feel like the first thing you should do is switch up your workouts. That always helps. So if your gym workout is to like lift weights or whatever your gym workout is, just change it up a little bit. Maybe if you normally lift heavy and do low reps, then switch it. Do high reps, lower weights. Or maybe you should throw in some cardio as well. Like if you never do cardio, add on a little bit of cardio. Or if it's the opposite and you do so much cardio and you never do weights, start doing weights. Like just switch things up. If you never do jump rope, do some jump rope. Anything you don't normally do it and add it on just to switch things up. And honestly, you'll be surprised how much it really helps because your body gets very complacent and very comfortable. So if you're doing the same exact routine to lose weight, yeah, it'll work for a few weeks or even a few months. But after a while, your body's just gonna be like, okay, yeah, I'm kind of used to this, like whatever. And it's gonna not really work and have that same effect anymore. So yeah, switch it up. That really helps. And then if that doesn't work, then your metabolism just needs a break. So what you can do is just instead of eating at a deficit, just eat your maintenance calories for like a week. And you will put on a little bit of water weight, but you'll be fine. It'll come back off once you go back on a deficit. But yeah. Your body either needs to switch things up in a workout or it needs a little bit of a break. So then I am going to take this really pretty pink glittery shade right here called Barb, which I just love the name of that. Like, love that. If anyone follows me from my pretty pink Amy days on Twitter, I was a total Barb. Like I used to stan for Nicki Minaj, like literally. I still love her. But anyways. So I'm gonna put that mainly on the inner. Like look at how pretty that is. So I'm gonna add a little bit of pink, the shade Reezy, right on top. Just a little bit, like I'm not taking a full amount of it, I'm just a little bit, just to add some pink in there. Because I do feel like the shade Barb was more pink. It kind of just goes on golden on the eyes. Actually, I'm going to take the shade Anastasia. See, you can totally tell I'm winging this, you guys. Yeah, I'm going to take the shade Anastasia. Just put that in the center. Oh, this is so pretty. Whoo! Like, look at that. I love, love, love that. Yes. Take the Fenty Diamond Glow Powder and just put that right in the inner corner. put those same neutrals on the lower lash. I just realized I never set my eye. I'm actually gonna try the, well, I know I love this powder, but I haven't used Pound Cake before. This is Pound Cake. I'm gonna use that right now. My favorite, the Beauty Blender Puffer. I don't know what I would do without this thing. It's the best. Okay, time to brush this away. So I am gonna add on some mascara, and then I've been using these new lashes, which I've really, I mean, I don't wanna ruin your vibe or anything, sugar, but you need to wake up. Okay. Anyways, I've been using these new lashes. They are by the brand Jaye, by Bethan J. Roberts. I'm so sorry if I butchered that name, but these are the Style Classic, and they're really pretty. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna put them on. They're really pretty. They remind me a lot of my Kiss number 11 lashes, but these ones have a little bit more flare at the end, which kind of just adds a little bit of something, but they're still super natural. I don't like thick lashes anymore. Like, I like lashes with very thin bands now. I don't wear like those thick bands anymore. I just literally cannot deal. Look at how pretty this lash is, you guys. Like, it definitely flares more than my Kiss number 11 lashes. I love those lashes still. They're the perfect like everyday natural lash, but I feel like this is natural with the twist or a flare, whatever. Anyways, okay, then I'm gonna use the Anastasia Dewy Set. A little bit of Glam Glow Glow Setter. I just realized I'm using a lot of Anastasia in this video. And you know what? I know, again, Anastasia, but I haven't used Pure Hollywood. Remember that you guys, that used to be my favorite liquid lipstick, Anastasia Pure Hollywood. I haven't used that in a really long time, and Carly Bybel wears it all the time, and it looks amazing on her. So I think I'm gonna try using that again and see how it looks. I'm gonna go in my collection and dig that out. First thing I'm gonna do is line my lips with KKW number 1.5. Okay, now it's time to finally use Pure Hollywood. I have not put this lipstick on in years, you guys. So pretty. It definitely has like a pink undertone. It's like a nude pink. And I used to live in nude pink lipsticks. Now I'm like, I want like tan nude, like very like flesh tone nudes. So I'm gonna take MAC Leave Me Breathless, and I'm just gonna put it like right in the center. Like just a little bit. Okay, so that is pretty much it, you guys, for the entire video. I hope you enjoyed my makeup. I feel like this is a little bit different than what I normally do. I kind of have this like nude champagne-y pink vibes going on. Like the eyes are very like bronzy champagne pink. Then the nude lip, I have not worn Pure Hollywood in like literally, I want to say like 4 or 5 years. It used to be like my go-to. Like I would go through tubes of this, like literally. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this makeup, and hopefully you enjoyed hearing the Amy's Advice Q&A. If you guys want to hear more Amy's Advice Q&A type of videos, then definitely like thumbs up this video. That way I can see that you enjoyed it, and I will do more Amy's Advice Q&As. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye guys. Mwah.